A little while ago, I posted on my YouTube community feed asking you guys what makes a great guitarist. Now that question is purposely vague because I wanted to dig into how you guys interpreted that. I wanted to dig into your goals, who you admired and why you admired them, so we can all remind ourselves, what are we doing this for and what are we working towards when we're learning guitar? Now, because of the question being pretty vague, a lot of the early answers and the early comments on that post were practice, 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 plain and simple. And that's a good answer, but practice to what end is what I was really getting at. And that's what I replied to Manderm in the comments. I said, to what end result? What is the practice aimed towards? And they said, I would say it depends on a person's individual goals. We need to ask ourselves as musicians, do we want to be an amazing blues player or an amazing rock player, etc.? Now you're getting it. Now you guys are getting it, okay? Once the beginner program, or what I see as basic chords, riffs and rhythms, is complete, people can expand into different areas or styles of guitar. For example, an amazing rhythm guitarist might not be an amazing lead guitarist, but still amazing in their area. And I couldn't agree more. Some of my favorite guitarists, like Malcolm Young or perhaps Paul McCartney, aren't known to be amazing lead players, but they're certainly great guitar players, and they were amazing rhythm players in their units, in their bands, when they're playing live and on records. And I think that's really inspiring. But it is specific to their goals, and it should be specific to our goals. Now, this is also in promotion of my new intermediate acoustic course. This is a brand new refilmed syllabus from the ground up, purely for acoustic guitar, for beginner acoustic and then intermediate acoustic, up to a very high level, finishing up around about grade 5, or at least prepping you for grade 5 level. Now, starting this summer, starting July, we're also going to start releasing beginner electric, which is going to end up being a full electric guitar syllabus, again from the absolute easiest things to play on guitar right up to around about grade 5, with jam tracks, song recommendations, practice routines, exercises, everything you need to be a well-shaped guitar player. But they're separate syllabuses. They are connected somewhat in terms of, if you want to jump from the other, you have mostly covered what's in the other syllabus, but it's basically got everything removed that if you're playing electric guitar, you don't need to know if you're not going to play acoustic. For example, fingerstyle stuff is removed from the electric guitar syllabus. There's a lot more jam tracks and a lot more play-along stuff in the electric guitar syllabus, because that's more lined up to electric guitar goals. There's a link to that at the top of the description and in the comments below. It's only available as part of the membership at andyguitar.co.uk. The next most common comment that came in was, of course, patience. Patience, 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 patience and practice. But to what end? And there are, of course, some people like Lucas who think the guitar is what it's all about. Having a great guitar makes a great guitarist. Certainly a part of it, but I liked this one from W4ELU, the dedication to overcome obstacles. When I've interviewed bands over the last couple of years, and when I've known musicians and filmed with some fabulous guitar players over the years, I don't know anyone that's had a smooth ride with this. It's all about overcoming the obstacles that you get, and they're unique to each of us. It's a great comment. As is this one from 70s Bluesville, who says, timing, space and feel, aka David Gilmour. Church Girl also said their feel, and Max said good sense of rhythm and phrasing. So feel, rhythm, phrasing. I think these are all great comments and great things to be aiming for. But is your practice time actually lined up to get you better at those? You know, your feel and timing and space. Really, all these are kind of improvisation aspects, or things you could practice with a loop pedal, or jamming over some kind of jam track, certainly with good sense of rhythm and phrasing. Phrasing always tends to refer to lead guitar, the style of bends people do, how hard or soft they play a note, how long things ring out for. But Andrew here says feel, the ability to make people feel something. That's a cool thing to practice, eh? And aim for. Lots of good guitarists in bands, but very few give you goosebumps. David Gilmour is the perfect example of that for me. That's the second time his name was mentioned, and I do think, yeah, for feel, timing and something to aim for, he's a very great example of doing the simple things well and focusing more on getting the listener and maybe himself as a player to feel something, as opposed to trying to always get better. Getting better is a dangerous goal, because better often just means play faster, play more notes. And we don't really often mean play better as in play a simple thing that makes someone feel something. So remember that one when you're practicing. Being in tune with your guitar and the music, says CNME2706. I agree, like play something that, especially when you're improvising, play something that's really appropriate to that song, that rhythm, what the other musicians are doing, what the jam track's doing, as opposed to just doing your thing that you always do. But each has their place. Of course, G-Funk1995 says, playing a guitar well makes a great guitar player. Great, but what does that really mean? That's what we're digging into. I think you guys are getting that now. Time, patience, dedication, yes, but to what end? Passion is a great comment here. I love that comment, and again, I feel like passion and expression. People like Steve Vai or Slash have great passion when they play, and you can hear it in their playing. It's not only the expression on the face, you know, like John Mayer style crazy expressions. It's about what they're playing, and it doesn't have to be technically fast or impressive to move you, and I think that's a really great thing to work for. This is a great comment here by Blessed Zav1. I'm not great, good, or even beginner. I play watching your videos and others. However, I think what makes you better is, in general, is just having a genuine enjoyment and interest in the instrument that goes for any instrument, saxophone player, etc. I spend about an hour every day just strumming and listening, in addition to 30 trying to actually learn some things very fun. Keep it fun. I think that's such an important comment. Perseverance is a way to success. That's a fantastic comment. But what is the end goal? And the end goal for Zachary Richards is clearly being able to play Wonderwall. You know, when you're a beginner, that is all you want, right? You just want to be able to play something recognizable. Operation Blueprint. Noel Gallagher's hands make a great guitar player. This comment, the microphone. Sometimes it is. So sometimes you've got to pay attention to that with tone. What microphone are you using, and how are you listening to what you're hearing when you're playing? Innovation, says MPVG3JS. Yeah, there's not often too much innovation in guitar, especially with playing, especially with a lot of classic tones, because we're often trying to recreate sounds from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, really. Innovation for me often comes down to thinking about things in a totally different way and being open to that. Especially when it comes to maybe, I don't know, licks or fretboard shapes or something. Or maybe trying a different genre. I got into country music a lot last year. That was kind of fun. Getting out of your comfort zone, that comment lines up to that. Playing in service to the song, not your own ego. Such an important thing. And also luck. Yeah, does being a great guitar player, are some people just lucky? Maybe that's a part of it. I don't know. Always acquiring new knowledge from the guitar and never giving up. That's what I saw as the innovation thing, for sure. And also AC4732, just enjoying it, dude. A simple smile, that odd facial expression when something comes off, that kind of happiness resonates with you into your instrument, then out into the atmosphere. I agree. What a lovely comment. The greatest all seem to have started playing when they were 8 or 9 years old. Also, it seems to help if you're destitute that the guitar is your only form of entertainment. Yeah, the truth hurts. I certainly recognise that I stopped playing video games when I was a teenager, and guitar kind of took over that hobby for me. And I've never really gone back to video games. Anyone that can get very high level at video games and be a musician as well and play guitar and stuff, yeah, that's incredibly hard to do. You do have to kind of make choices and stick with them. I chose music. Knowing what to play. The most powerful symbol in music notation is a rest, which just means silent. I think that's awesome. Finger picking for me. James Taylor, Gordon Lightfoot, all make me grab a guitar and dig in or try anyway. And I'm a metalhead at heart. So there you go. You can be in two very opposing and different genres, especially when you're playing. Beginners want to learn how to play the songs that they always listen to. People who are more experienced tend to want to play a certain thing and they'll listen to a different thing. It's a funny old thing. A great haircut. obviously very important, as I've still got my lockdown hair, so I think it's important, and thick calluses on the fingers. So there you go, those are some thoughts from the comments on my post. What did you think about that? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below what makes a great guitar player, and you can watch another video right here, right now.